Hey guys, I'm back. Welcome back to the Fox Critic. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing a movie review on Transformers. So let's begin with this review. So this is the first entry in the Transformers franchise. It was released in 2007. This film stars Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox, and Josh Duhamel. And the basic plot of this film, if you would call it a plot, is there are two sort of groups of Transformers, Autobots and Decepticons. And they crash land on Earth, and they are basically having a war over a thing called Allspark, which is the ultimate power source, for something I can't remember what. And it's the location of it is held by an innocent teenager called Sam. So in usual fashion, I'll start off about what I liked about the movie. And what I would have to say here is that this movie is a live action Transformers movie. It's a big sort of high budget just action film, and that's really great to me. It feels a lot like a sort of versus movie, like, you know, those films like Godzilla vs. Kong is a recent example, the Alien versus Predator franchise, and that. And it feels like the sort of war between the Autobots and the Decepticons is sort of like sustained throughout the film, and you kind of feel like it's always going on, and that feels great in my opinion. The actual action itself is pretty well done. I mean, the editing is kind of off, but the CG is really really good. Especially for the time, it's very very impressive. I mean, it was released in 2007, but it did, you know, it does look really great. You got some good cinematography in there and some good lighting, and just as a sort of big kind of like blockbuster fight movie, I think it's really well done. What I would say about the characters here, they're not like great characters by any means, but they could have been worse considering that this is kind of a sort of generic blockbuster film. The characters could have been worse. I wasn't as frustrated with them as I thought I would be. Same with the structure. It's not good, but like the structure of the movie could have been worse. So considering it is a generic action movie in many ways, and I'll get onto that later. It's what all of the sort of formula of a movie like that isn't at its worst in this film in my opinion. So yeah, just Transformers as an action movie, it certainly delivers. That's for sure. Now on to the things that I didn't like so much about the movie, and the first thing I have to say here is it just the storytelling and dialogue is bad. Like the dialogue. This is what I mean by generic action movie. The dialogue and script has so many just. The movie feels so much like what at least I've seen so many times before, and it's just there's nothing really special about it other than that it's a live action movie of a toy. And speaking of that, this is a film about the Transformers toys, and I just it doesn't feel like a Transformers film in my opinion, because the movie is very overly sexualized, and I've heard it gets worse in the sort of future films. But this is kind of, you know, like aimed at younger audience, like Transformers fans. But they also just make a load of unnecessary sex jokes to, I guess, try appeal to like the older audience as well, and it doesn't work very well. The movie also has many scenes which drag on for way too long. The first sort of like the sort of like middle hour of the film just goes on and on, in my opinion. It's not to say it's not the most boring film I've ever seen, but this movie is a 2 hour 18-minute movie, and I swear this is way longer than 2 hours 18 minutes. Like, I will literally say I don't think this is 138 minutes long. This it feels way longer than that. Um and yeah, like I said, the dialogue is just very sort of there are literally scenes where like an explosion will happen, and a character will literally just scream whoa, and like literally scream it, and it happens quite a few times actually. And as brilliant as the CGI is and all the fight scenes are, they are very very over the top, very overdone, very just you've got all the good stuff here. You've got, giant robots front flipping in the air onto each other, just killing each other basically. I love that kind of stuff, and it's really well done in this movie. But that's not to say it isn't really, really over the top. And like I said, I think it's a generic action movie. It's the same sort of like explosion fest that we've seen before, and we're gonna see a million times again after this. And I'm gonna try to describe the movie like this, right? So picture you have a pot and you throw in overly done CGI, generic and poorly done dialogue, and a few sex jokes, and you mix it all together, you get Transformers. That's probably the best way I can describe this movie. Um, so yeah, in short, I don't think Transformers is a very good movie. I think it's certainly got strong elements. It's got some really, really good stuff in here, and it's an enjoyable film in my opinion. But it isn't a it isn't a really great film. It's There are a lot of scenes which are very, very poorly done in my opinion. So overall, I would give this movie a 5.6 out of 10. It is like I've said, you get all those ingredients that I mentioned, and you mix them together aimlessly. And it spits out Transformers. That's just my opinion on the movie. That I know a lot of people have different opinions. I know a lot of people really like this movie, and it's probably one of the best out of the Transformers franchise. I've heard it gets a lot worse from here, and I will be watching those movies at some point and reviewing them. But yeah, this is the first Transformers movie. It's not terrible, but it's not good either. So yeah, that's what I have to say about Transformers. Thank you very much for watching this review. If you enjoyed it, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you want to. And until next time, bye bye.